Hey there, Georgie here with Ukraine Matters. It's the middle of the night where I am. I am super sick, but I still must talk about what Trump talked about, what Trump did, and is US fully back to support Ukraine? So first things first, Trump said that he announces new weapons deliveries to Ukraine and that there is going to be a 50-day pause to Russia to implement some kind of sanctions. Is this in general good? Yes, this is amazing. One might even say that we are actually moving very, very close to the best case scenario that I actually outlined in basically video just beforehand, talking about what we can expect from America. Because while a lot of people are talking that it's going to be weapon deliveries from United States, the truth of the matter is that this is sort of a double speak, because United States will not be sending weapons to Ukraine. They will just be lifting restrictions for the Europeans to buy weapons from United States and then send those weapons to Ukraine. Actually, it's a little bit even different. Like the Europeans will be sending supposedly weapons from their stockpiles, and then they will be buying from United States to re-establish their stockpiles once again. At least this is what we're hearing. And therefore, I don't want to give too much credit to Trump here, despite the fact, and I want this to be underscored, that while Trump, as a person, I can never agree with anything, the fact that he is moving towards the right direction, towards supporting Ukraine, we must cheer and we must support those type of movements. I never thought that I will say this, but yes, this is definitely a step in the right direction. And instantly after that statement in the Oval Office that Trump had with Mark Rutte, they have discussed what kind of weapons Ukraine might get. The speculation from the secret sources within the White House speculate that Trump will allow 10 billion of weapons to be purchased by European allies and then sent to Ukraine. 10 billion euros is a lot. Now, if we would consider that this help that Europe will be able to buy from United States and send to Ukraine will be also supplemented together with what was already prepaid for by the Biden administration with the USAI program, where the manufacturers within US are sending weapons, and there's not going to be any kind of roadblocks in that sense, then we will finally see Ukraine getting more and more capabilities on the front line. Now, we've heard some real speculation about what can be sent to Ukraine, and there has been wild speculation that's since been kind of walked back, that Trump supposedly talked with Zelensky, that Zelensky needs to strike Putin inside of Moscow to make him believe that Ukraine is serious. That supposedly there was some kind of discussion about sending Tomahawks to Ukraine. All of that is pure speculation. It has no basis in reality so far, though it is nice that it's being talked about. The most realistic weapon that was supposedly talked about was the air-based JASSM missiles. It's a cruise missile that can be launched from the F-16s. The best part about that missile, that comes in two different ranges, which is the standard JASSM missile, which is about 300 kilometers cruise missile, and then the extended range missile, which is about 1,000 kilometers long range. The best part about these missiles is that there are plenty of them, and they're relatively cheap and fast to produce. So if US would want to supplement Ukraine with an actual weapon capable to, able to really strengthen Ukrainian military in the long distance strike areas, that's definitely could be JASSM. However, just today Trump was again asked whether or not long-range missiles will be sent to Ukraine. We don't know what he meant by long-range missiles, but so far it seems that we're kind of defaulting back a little bit, rolling back to that previous Trump version before the announcement of new weapons being purchased by the European allies. Again, we're not completely sure how this whole system will work. What is good that it's been mentioned that it's going to be 17 Patriot missile systems will be sent to Ukraine, and I think this is where there was a little bit of confusion. A Patriot missile system contains usually about 7 or 8 pieces of equipment, so including the launchers, the radar station, command station, and in generally 17 pieces. That's about potentially two with some additional launchers of full Patriot systems that could be sent to Ukraine. So Don't get confused by the number 17. It's just 2 systems, not 17, that is being talked about. Additionally, while Trump did mention that they will be sent basically in the coming days to Ukraine, the actual journalists that started looking for where there are Patriot systems supposedly, because it's kind of clear that it seems that US will not be sending anything to Ukraine, that it most likely is going to be sent from one of the parties that either requested Patriot systems or already having the Patriot system, and then they will get reimbursed, something of a sort. But we'll see which country will be willing to support Ukraine in that area. But generally speaking, we can kind of agree that most likely the Patriot systems will make it to Ukraine, although I wouldn't expect it like in the coming days. We got an interesting ally, the Trump administration, in the Trump's administration, Melania, because Trump was, I don't want to say surprisingly harsh about Putin, but he was definitely harsh in his words. The problem is that how harsh he is in his words to Putin doesn't really matter. But what was interesting when he told about his interaction with Melania. Now, we don't know whether or not this is true or not, but it's definitely created a lot of memes about Melania Trump, where Trump says, oh my God, we just had an amazing talk with Putin and he was such a nice to me, he talked to me. And then Melania says like, well, that's nice that you're telling me that, but he just bombed another city. So potentially Melania here, at least maybe if not fully supporting Ukraine, we don't know, but at least it's definitely nudging Trump towards that, which is always good because this is the truth, and the only people that don't want to see Ukraine win is the pro-Russian maggots and everyone else. And finally, let's talk about the 50-day ultimatum to Putin. And I'm going to have like a secret for you to reveal, and you're going to hit yourself how you didn't see it before. Because what we saw is Trump on the 14th of July stating that he will create a 50-day wait period, grace period, for Putin to essentially end the war and then come to negotiating table, or there will be new sanctions. And the bad news is that this absolutely kills the bill of Lindsey Graham and everything else. So all of that talk about that bill is now out of the window. So now it's going to be Trump that's going to be deciding whether or not there are going to be tariffs on any other countries. So no more pressure from Senate. So for everyone that was hoping that there's going to be some other people pressuring Trump to impose sanctions, well, now it's completely out. But more importantly here is the number 50, because, and this is the secret part, if you remember, on the 3rd of July, Putin and Trump had a talk. And on the 3rd of July, Putin said to Trump that I will capture the rest of Donbass, which I actually covered in my last video. And as unrealistic as it is, Putin said that he will do it within 2 months. So follow me here. So if we have a call on the 3rd of July, then on the 14th of July, Trump says that he does a 50-day grace period. So if we say 14 minus 3, that's 11, plus 50, that is 60 days. Well, 61, okay, sorry, don't throw stones on me, but you know what I mean here. So Putin, basically Trump is giving Putin exactly the leeway that Putin asked him. So Trump never changed his opinion. He still very much favors Putin. He still wants to believe that Putin is this amazing, cool guy that's definitely gonna end it all, that now he has his summer offensive, he's gonna finish it in like 2 months, and then it's going to be all nice and easy. And again, this goes together while yesterday's rhetoric was very fiery. There's going to be $10 billion of help that's going to be coming from the United States, which is supposedly good. But then today we hear the rollback of what's going to be sent to Ukraine. There's not going to be any long-range missiles. Potentially there's going to be delay of sending supplies. We need to see what will be the actual actions by the United States and what Ukraine will actually get. So as much as I want to celebrate that we are definitely moving in the right direction, let's not celebrate too far, because we need to see what the Trump administration actually does and not what they're going to say. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit sick. I'll try to push myself and do more videos, but I still love you. Trust in Ukrainian Armed Forces. I'll see you next time.